Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Faraz Bhatt. I am a PhD student at Ikra University, Islamabad. In this presentation, I would like to debate on different research philosophies, how you can select a particular research philosophies, and what research strategies you can use with respect to the first research philosophy that you selected. I would like to explain and base my presentation on Research Onion, which is a comprehensive research framework proposed by Dr. Saunders. So let me share you the screen so that you can see that Research Onion, and I would debate and explain its different stages one by one. As you can see, there are 5 layers just like the onion. So when you peel one layer, you have to enter into the second layer. So research philosophy, research approaches, research strategies, stage number 3, time horizons and data collection methods. So these are the 5, you can say, pile up layers just like an onion. First, let me explain you what is positivism, what is realism, what is interpretivism, and then we will move further. Positivism, basically, it is a research philosophies which claims that researcher and the research setting, they are detached from each other. They are independent of each other. And normally, this is a quantitative approach where you have a problem in your mind and you want to answer, or you want to propose the solution to that problem, or when you want to predict the solution, then you adopt this positivism research philosophy. Keep in mind, researcher and research setting, they are detached from each other. Then realism, basically it is conducted in natural setting. So natural science students, biology, physics, chemistry, etc., they normally follow the research philosophy of realism. I will not debate more on realism, but I will concentrate and emphasize on two research philosophies, positivism and interpretivism. Okay, now let's talk about interpretivism. Basically, it is a qualitative, subjective research philosophies where you answer or where you explore some phenomena, and this is subject to the biasness of the researcher as well. Okay, if you select positivism, then you enter into the second layer, which is deductive or inductive approach. After research philosophy, you enter into the second layer of research approaches, and here we can see deductive approach or inductive research approach. So what is the difference between these two? Let me tell you, when the researcher of social sciences, because I am a student of social sciences, so I will emphasize more on social sciences rather than natural sciences or real sciences. So deductive and approach is used when the researcher has a certain pattern of questions or objectives in his mind, or the researcher has a certain problem in his mind and he wants to answer the solution, he wants to predict the solution. So then he uses deductive approach. You have questions in your mind, or you have developed some hypotheses, etc., or you have some research objective clear cut, so you adopt deductive research approach. And what happens in case of inductive? When you want to explore some phenomena, when you want to create a theory, you are not, your base is not on a particular theory, rather you want to develop a theory, then you go for inductive approach rather than deductive. So there is a difference between these two. Okay, when we enter into the third layer, which is called research strategy. So here we have experiment, surveys, case studies, grounded theory, ethnography, and action research. Let me elaborate them one by one, and then I will tell you the link how these are related to deductive and then positivism, or inductive and then interpretivism. How? Experiment, basically there is a problem and you want to conduct some experiment in order to satisfy yourself and answer the problem. So this is related to positivism because it has some, we have some problem. Then surveys, we want to conduct some surveys in order to answer our questions. This is also related to positivism. So surveys, in case of surveys, deductive approach and positivism. Then case study, it is highly, you can say, subjective and adaptive research strategy, which is linked with interpretivism. And then grounded theory, in case of grounded theory, you want to explore something, and by keeping yourself in that domain and you explore some phenomena, it is also related to interpretivism. Then ethnography is a type of research strategy where the researcher himself becomes the part of the problem or the part of the research setting. You might be recalling in your mind that I explained in the start of my video that positivism is an approach where researcher and research setting are detached from each other. So ethnography, we link it with interpretivism, not positivism. Then action research, it is quite synonymous to experiment. We want to know the cause, or we want to, we want to understand what are the effects of the causes, or why cause, and what is the cause of some problem, and what are its you can say impacts or effects. So it is also related to positivism. And then the four layer time horizon, it is talking about cross section and longitudinal. Let me tell you, cross section and longitudinal time horizons, what is the difference between them? When you collect your data at one point of time, or you can say when you collect your data once, then you employ cross sectional, time horizon, this method. And when you have to compare your or for when you have to compare your answers, or when you have to collect data on different points of time for the purpose of comparison, then you go for longitudinal, collect method of collecting the data. Longitudinal method of data collection often seen in the field of finance. For instance, you want to explore the salaries impact on the job satisfaction level. So you have to collect data in 2010, then you again collect data in 2011, in 2013, and then you compare what is the satisfaction level of employees based on or due to the salary increment. So you are making comparison of from 2010 to 2013. So you are collecting data three times. So this is a longitudinal style. Let me rephrase the thing. When you select positivism research philosophy, then you go for deductive or inductive approach. If you are going for deductive approach, then you have to select the survey. And if positivism, deductive research approach, research strategy would be survey. And time horizon, data collection, either it can be cross sectional or longitudinal depending on your nature. And then the fifth layer is data collection method. It's sampling secondary data, or it can be observation, which is highly biased and subjective because of the researcher. Interviews, they are also subjective, flexible, and biased data collection method. And then questionnaires, which are normally employed in cross-sectional as well as in longitudinal studies, both. So they are the data collection methods. So now let me give you a link between them. Let's suppose you are selecting your research philosophy as positivism, then you have to go for deductive approach. For after deductive approach, you will go for research strategy of survey. You will do survey, conduct surveys. After that, your time horizon will be cross section or longitudinal. It can be both. Survey, deductive approach, positivism. Case study, deductive approach or inductive approach related to interpretivism. Then grounded theory, interpretivism, ethnography, inductive approach, interpretivism, and also action research, interpretivism. It is related to more close to interpretivism rather than positivism. So you select your research philosophy, positivism, for social science students. Then you go for your research approach, which which will be deductive approach, then research strategy, which will be survey, then time horizon, that will be cross section. You will collect data one point of time, or if you are doing some finance research, you can go for longitudinal data. And then your data collection method, fifth one. So it can be interviews or it can be questionnaires in case of cross sectional or longitudinal time horizon. It can be both. So these are a this is a comprehensive, you can say, framework for research. I hope you would have a clear idea of research onion: positivism, deductive research approach, survey research strategy, cross section with respect to time horizon, and questionnaire with respect to data collection method. So you can make either pathways. There can be another pathway, interpretivism. Then you go for a case studies and survey. Then you go for longitudinal data. You can go for case studies and then longitudinal data, and then you conduct your observation or you conduct interviews. So these are related to interpretivism. So I hope you would have a clear picture of this research onion and what research philosophies you can adopt. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it would have helped you.